Been a long day, I just wanna lay down and sleep on my bed. But you stuck in my head, I don't know why. Wish that you were next to me.
Good day. My name is Charlotte Amrafu, a level 100 Become Accounting student of University of Cape Coast. I'm representing Group 12 on how our information were gathered for our project work. The letter to undertake the project was issued to our team on 1st June 2023. On the 15th of June 2023, we settled to discuss how the project would be undertaken. A decision was made to go in for a grocery shop owner with the belief of acceptance. We were accepted by the business on 17 June 2023 to come for the records. We began our records taking on the 20th June 2023, continued daily and had the record of the business for 1 week as required of us by our able lecturer. In groups of 2, the records were taken daily. The business accountant had to explain his method of recording because it would be comprehended too. After all record had been taken, we had to fix a date to start our financial reporting for the business. On 25th June 2023, we gathered to begin our work and could only compile the total sales figure and the total purchases figure. On 27th June 2023, we met to continue our reporting and ended the meeting with ascertainment of the cash book and other ledger account balances. On 29th June 2023, we were able to compile all workings on the records taken and prepared the final account of the business using the MS Word application. On the 30th June 2023, we prepared our PowerPoint and Microsoft Word, and we prepared a summary of the report of our project.
Okay, so upon our survey, we met Madam Awu, the owner of MMT Enterprise, who does not keep proper records of account because she thinks that she can memorize all her transactions with her customers.
Our team of certified auditors approached her, and upon scrutiny of her books, the following records were made available. The cash book summary. The balance brought down for the week was 100 cedis. She had cash sales of 5,400 and cash from customers were 2,500. At the credit side of the cash book, she paid rent 240, electricity 200, fuel 400, fridge repairs 500, other petty expenses 60, vehicle repairs 320, taxes 280. She further provided to us this information as well, representing her assets and liability at the beginning and the end of the week. So at the beginning of the week, refrigerator was 12,000, vehicle 54,000, inventory 5,000, cash 100, debtors 500, creditors 6,600, and at the end of the week, refrigerator was 12,000, vehicle 49,000, inventory 4,000, cash 6,000, debtors 8,000, and creditors 12,000.
By the information we had, we can see that the creditors at the beginning of the week was what? 6,600. That is why we brought it at the credit side of the creditors control account. And the ending was 12,600. That will come to the debit side of the control account. So after this, to get your total purchases, you need to find the difference between the beginning and the end. And to find the difference between the beginning and the end, you subtract the 6 6,600 from the 12,600 to give you the credit what purchase. That will give you what 6,000. Because we don't have purchases in the cash book, the credit purchases here will become our total what purchases. So as we did for the creditors control account, you also do the same thing for the debtors what control account. And for the debtors control account, at the beginning you had what 500, and at the what end we had what 8,000. But we received cash from what customers amounting to what 2,500. Then you compare the debit side and the credit side, which is bigger. After comparing, we got to know that the credit side is bigger than the credit side, making a total of 10,500. So to find the credit sales, you deduct the 500 from the 10,500 to get your credit sales of 10,000. But previously we had a sales figure in the cash book amounting to 5,400. So to get your total purchases, the total sales, sorry, you have to combine the two of them or add the two of them to get the 15,400. The reason why we did not get any figure plus the credit sales here is because we didn't have any purchases figure in the cash book. That is why we only took this as our total purchases.
So as what my colleague said, this is the column of statement of affairs. Statement of affairs at the beginning of the week. And when we talk about statement of affairs, it deals with only two things. That's the asset column and the liability column. And as for our assets, we have a refrigerator which amounts to 12,000 cedis. We have our bill which amounts 54,000 cedis. And we have inventory which amounts 5,000 cedis. And we have cash which amounts to 100 cedis. And which we have our debtors which also amount to 500 cedis. And to calculate our assets, in total we got 71,600. And when we want to find our accumulated capital, we have to subtract our liabilities from our assets. Which our liabilities, we have our creditors which amount to 6,600. So subtracting 6,600 from 71,600, we got our accumulated capital to be 65,000. Thank you.
So I continue from where my colleague ended. So I'm taking you through to the income statement for the week ended 22nd June 2023. And we all know in our income statement, we have our sales, we less our cost sales to get our gross profit, and we come to the expenses or incomes that we receive within the week, because we are preparing based on the week. Okay, so when you look at total sales, it was our credit sales plus our actual sales that give us a total sales of 15,400. So before we get to our gross profit or to see our profit of the week, we have to let some cost of sales that happens within that week. So in preparing our cost of sales, you need your opening inventory for the week. So our opening inventory for the week was 5,000, and within that same week we purchased a goods amounting to 6,000. Because we don't have any other carriages and other stuffs, we only take these purchases as our total purchases and add it to our opening inventory to alight at our cost of goods available for sales. And when we get our cost of goods available for sales, we have to less our closing inventory to know our cost of sales. Because before you know your cost of sales, you have to less your cost of goods available for sales, you less your closing inventory to alight at your cost of sales. So our cost of sales was 7,000, and before you get our gross profit, you have to less our cost of sales from our actual sales, because don't forget we are lessing our cost of sales. So we less this 7,000 from the 15,400 to get our 8,400, which is our gross profit carried down. I bring this carried down because we are now going to less or add other operating expenses and less out add other incomes and less out operating expenses. So this is our gross profit carried down. So when you come here, you see that we have gross profit brought down, which is the same figure as here. Sorry, we didn't mark this. So our gross profit brought down was 8,400, and we have to add our operating expense. Don't forget, we don't have any other incomes within the week. So that's why we only less our operating expense. Within that same week, we have an electricity cost amounting to 200, a rent amounting to 240, a fuel amounting to 400, freight repairs amounting to 500, sundry expenses amounting to 60, and vehicle repairs amounting to 320. Don't forget, within that same week, we left our taxes, because our tax is part of our operating expense. It's not about company, that's why the tax will not be at operating expense. In this part, you have to bring your tax here to show that it's the week operating expense. So our total operating expense was 2,000. That's the 2,000 figure here. So to get our net profit, you have to less our operating expenses from our gross profit in order to alight at our gross profit. So when we less this 2,000 from the 8,400, we get our 6,400, which is our net profit for the week.
Okay, so for the presentation that my colleagues did, I will take you through the final stage of the presentation, which is the statement of the financial position. So here, the heading now becomes statement of financial position as at 22nd June 2023, because it's for only 1 week. The period is between 1 week. The statement of financial position, as we all know, it contains 3 aspects or 3 parts, which is the asset aspect, the liability aspect, and the equity aspect or the capital aspect. So here we have the asset aspect. We have the non-current asset and the current asset. So with Madam Awu, her non-current assets was vehicle and refrigerator, and the cost of her vehicles and the refrigerator were 66,000, which is the vehicle of 54,000 and refrigerator of 12,000. Here, Madam Awu does not charge depreciation to his fixed assets, so there is no depreciation charge within the week. So our net book value, or our net book value now become the same as the cost, which is 54,000 and 12,000, which refers to the refrigerator and the vehicle. So our total assets, now our total non-current asset is 66,000, as you can see here. Also, when you come below, Madam Awu has inventory, trade receivables, cash as her current assets. So the cost of the inventory was 4,000, and the trade receivables amount was 8,000, as you can see here. Upon the adjustment that my friend did, the cash, we have 6,000 as our cash. So now our total current assets now becomes 18,000. When you sum the 3 up, you will get your 18,000. So we go to the next aspect, or the next side of the statement of financial position, which is the current liabilities. And that one, so under current liabilities, Madam Awu has only trade payables as a current liability, which is 12,500 as our carry down in the information that we had from Madam Awu. So the 18,000 minus the 12,000 now gives you your working capital. As we all know, that working capital is equal to the current assets minus the current liabilities. That gives you your working capital. So with Madam Awu's financial statement, now you can see working capital of Madam Awu was 5,400. Also, if you want your total net assets, then you have to add your non-current assets plus your working capital. That will give you your total net assets, which is 71,000 in respect of Madam Awu's financial position. All right, so we take you to the next part of the financial position, which is the capital aspect. Here, our accumulated capital is 65,000. As my colleagues calculated or made an adjustment to the inventory at the beginning, that gave us a 65,000 as our accumulated capital. Again, we add our net profit to the accumulated capital to get your capital employed. So here is Madam Awu. Her capital employed as at 22nd June 2023 was 71,400. Thank you.